we're joined from Cork by Conor O'Connell, Director of Housing and Planning with the Construction Industry, with the Construction Federation of Ireland. Good evening, Mr. O'Connell. Thanks indeed for joining us. Let's talk about what we do know. The number of housing units delivered last year, almost 30,000, ahead of the target in the government strategy Housing for All. But I think the outlook for this year might be a little less rosy. The number of statistics on commencements are a bit down.
That's correct, David, but it has been an exceptional performance by house builders right around Ireland over the last year to deliver 30,000 homes for people. As you know, we need more homes for more people right every part of Ireland. So it is a very good performance. It's a 50% increase nearly on last year, the year before. So we're delighted with these statistics today. It's great to see that 30,000 new homes were built for people.
But in terms of this year and the outlook for this year?
Look, we are concerned about commencements. We see for the first 11 months of 2022, we've seen a 13% decline in the number of commencements. And if you drill down into those commencements, you see that the decline is more pronounced in some of the urban areas. And what that indicates to us so far is that there's a growing problem with apartment viability. We've had a really exceptional period over the last number of years, as you know, in the house building sector, with COVID shutdowns, the war in Ukraine, material cost increases, supply chain problems, rising interest rates. It really has been an extraordinary time in the industry. So to perform and to complete 30,000 units last year is very good news, but we are very concerned about this year and beyond.
Okay, and I suppose one of the problems in years gone by when there was lots of housing units being built, they weren't necessarily the right types of units in the right locations. What's your view on that, the current situation?
Well, we have now very strict guidelines in relation to zoning, for instance, where you can build houses, what type of houses you can build. The National Planning Framework is several years in existence now. It does need to be reviewed, and we do welcome the upcoming review of the National Planning Framework, especially in light of the report from the Housing Commission, which does seem to suggest, or it doesn't seem to suggest, it does suggest that we need to build a lot more homes. And if we are to supply more homes, then we're going to have to supply more zoned land. We're going to have to supply more infrastructure for that zoned land to service it, the utilities, water, ESB, etc. Then we're going to need the planning permissions. And of course, we need an affordable, viable product that can be funded to deliver. And unfortunately, at the moment, if you look at each one of those supply determinants, each one of them is challenged. And we urgently need, for instance, and there is a report this morning which emphasised this, we urgently need more resources on board than all to deliver the plannings into the system.
Now, you mentioned that Housing Commission research, which suggests that, and there are a number of different variables, so it's difficult to be precise, but the demand could mean that we need to double housing output every year up to 2050. Does that sort of forecast of demand seem reasonable to you?
It does, but in order to supply and to meet that demand that is out there, which is exceptional, we do need, as I said, more zoned land, more infrastructure, more planning, and more affordability, viability to kick into the system. If you look at the output of the industry over the last number of years, in 21 it was just over 21,000 units delivered. That was 22, 30,000, a 50% increase. If you look at the output from 2016 to 2019, which was the last year before the COVID shutdowns, we doubled our output from 9,000 to 20,000. So it is possible the industry will respond. And if you look at where the industry now is, you know, certain aspects of investment in real estate are declining, such as the office market. And there is an opportunity, a unique opportunity to attract those resources into the residential construction sector. So we would be very, very positive about being in a position to meet that demand once the other factors are resourced. So once we've more zoned land, infrastructure planning, etc.
Okay, but it isn't just new builds that are needed. There's a lot of talk about retrofitting, which is soaking up a lot of capacity in the construction industry. There's also all the remediation work to be done on apartments and duplexes that were built during the Celtic Tiger era. And a lot of people looking at you tonight may be wondering, well, the construction industry was at least partially responsible for those defects. Can the construction industry be trusted now to going forward to build properly?
Absolutely. It's the regulatory environment is utterly changed since 2013. We have a new building control management system. We have an assigned certification system. We have a very stringent regulatory environment with high standards. In our opinion, we're building now to some of the highest standards in Europe in relation to the built environment. It is utterly changed. Thousands of people every year buy new homes from us. They buy a house that is completely different than a house or a home or an apartment that was constructed 15 or 20 years ago. And we've worked very hard to professionalise the industry. And we can assure people out there that it is a completely different regulatory environment than what existed in the past.
But is it completely different people doing the building? Because presumably the people who build those apartments that have now turned out to be defective, some of them are still in the business.
Some aren't, some are, some aren't. Those, generally speaking, that survived the recession, an awful lot of our members are home builders. They are intergenerational family businesses. They survived because of their reputation on building good homes for good people, and now they're looking for the opportunity to expand their business so that they can build more homes for more people. We need to build more, and we need to put in place the measures to allow those with the skills, knowledge and experience to deliver the much needed homes for Ireland.
Okay, Conor O'Connell, Director of Housing and Planning with the Construction Federation of Ireland. Thanks for joining us from Cork.